I ended up destroying my whole apartment, breaking all the mirrors, and literally just ruining my entire life. These trip story videos started out as something that I wanted to make to share my psychedelic experiences with people, because I thought they were very, very cool and people would be interested in hearing about it. As time went on, these trip stories grew into me telling my story in order to help you guys make the right decision about your life. I haven't this is one of those stories that I didn't think I would ever talk about, because it's super embarrassing and I totally fucked up. But I think right now is a good time to talk about it. So my daughter, Victoria, who is now 9 years old, this was her birthday party where she turned 5. Me and Monica, my wife, had just actually officially gotten back together. We got our first apartment together. I really, really missed this apartment. It was like a real nice, small apartment. The price was really good. Very, very quiet complex. I worked that day. The plan was we were gonna have a party. We were gonna invite people over to our apartment, even though it was so fucking small, so small, little bed, 2-bedroom apartment. And we really could not fit this amount of people there at all. And I was getting really, feeling really stupid, embarrassed for that reason. I don't know. I'm fucking, 23 years old and I have a little apartment. Why would I be embarrassed about that? But I was. I came home from work and the plan was that everybody was gonna be there. I was gonna come home from work. I was gonna bring pizza. So I brought the pizza home. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about this fucking night. But I really wanted to get drunk. I really, really wanted to get drunk really bad. Even though it was my daughter's birthday, my wife had all her family there. I think I don't remember why exactly, but I felt like I was like almost being pushed out of my own place. Like I just remember feeling really, really uneasy about the whole night. And something about whoever was there or something was going on to where I was mad. I don't know exactly. I was like subconsciously mad about something. So I decided, fuck it. I'm just gonna pull this bottle of Fireball out and start taking shots. And everybody kind of looked at me like I was weird. People in our family get drunk as fuck. And usually when we have big family get-togethers, I'm not the most drunk one, which is actually kind of like a breath of fresh air. But for whatever reason that night, nobody wanted to drink or whatever. Anyways, I got really, really drunk. And my daughter opened her presents and it was super awkward. I feel like me and my wife were just not in a good place. And we were like, okay, but we were not in a good place at that moment. This was when I was ready to self-destruct. Like I just made a video right before this that you guys have maybe or maybe not seen about depression and how I've been depressed lately and how I've realized that I've gone through this cycle of just destroying my life over and over and over. And this was one of the nights I did that. And it was because my life was so good at the time that I just wanted to destroy it. It's so fucking weird and stupid. Anyways, so got really drunk. So drunk to a point where everybody kind of started to leave. My wife had a friend who we lived with for a little while. We lived across the way apartments for a little while, which was fucking ridiculous. I hated that shit. Her boyfriend and I decided to drink and keep drinking. And then he asked me if I wanted to go to his apartment and do some coke. At this point in my life, I had not really done that much coke. Like this might have been like my maybe 4th or 5th time ever doing it. And I was already so drunk to where I was like belligerent almost. I think my wife kind of was telling me to chill, stop drinking, relax. Let's just watch a movie. Let's relax, calm down. But I was not having it. I said, fuck that. And I left my daughter and my wife on my daughter's birthday night. Went across to the neighbor's or my girl's friend's boyfriend's apartment and did shitloads of cocaine over there. My brother and my mom actually stood at my apartment. I think they were gonna stay the night. I'm glad they did, because it could have been way, way worse. Anyways, did the coke. My wife went over to the apartment I was at and got really mad at me because I was doing cocaine. I got mad at the apartment. We yelled at each other right there. I went back to my apartment, talked with my wife. I was pissed. I went back and I was coked the fuck out. I really barely remember it until like the rage started to kick in. I went into my room, closed the door. I think it got to a point where she was basically saying like, I don't want to be with you anymore. We can't do this. I want to break up. And I was not having that. She wanted to go to her friend's house across the way because I was being so crazy and she wanted to leave. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. Absolutely not. At this point, I think I had punched a hole in one of the doors in our room. When that happened, she got up out of our bed and walked out of our room and started walking towards the front door to leave. And at one point I remember I was sitting there just shaking and pissed, and I was going to let her leave. And then in the last moment I said, fuck that. And I didn't want her to leave. So I got up and ran towards the door and fucking jumped and literally kicked the door shut so she couldn't leave. I grabbed her, and this is like probably the most physical I've ever gotten with a woman, ever. I grabbed her and told her she couldn't leave. There was no fucking way I wasn't going to let her. And I said, okay, and I said something, and I think I grabbed her and I started like, I grabbed her by the back of her neck and like started pushing her towards the toilet. This is how drunk and stupid I was. I said, do you want to be a piece of shit here? And I started pushing her towards the toilet. At this point, my brother, my mom come and grab me, and my wife leaves with my daughter. Like I said, this is not like a story that I'm, telling because I'm proud, obviously, and not something that I even really want to tell. But I think that it could help people. So I guess I should. Anyway, she ended up leaving. After that, I broke. This is probably the lowest and most broken I've ever been. Because of the cocaine, because of the alcohol, I was gone. I broke both the mirrors in both the restrooms of our house. I punched a hole in the wall. I punched a hole in 2 different doors. I threw all of our furniture all over. I literally just demolished our entire fucking house. I remember screaming like, fuck it. If she wants to destroy everything, I'm going to destroy everything. And I did. Once I was done with the huge fucking rage, after I broke everything and destroyed my entire fucking house, I ended up curling in a ball in my closet and just screaming and crying. And I could not stop crying, just like that type of shit. My mom, thank God my mom and my brother were there with me. But my mom gave me 2 Xanax and it didn't do shit. It would not calm me down. I would not chill out. I just sat there and talked, said craziest shit ever. Like some stuff you're not supposed to tell your mom about your wife, like crazy stuff, or your brother. And they were just telling me, you need to chill. We'll talk about it later. You can't talk right now. Like, this and that. It was a real big blur. But, anyways, after that night, and after everything happened, I left at like 4 or 5 in the morning and went to my grandma's house in Barstow, and I lived there for a couple months. I fucked up. It was the lowest and worst I've ever been in my entire life. That right there was my rock bottom, if I ever had one. There was rock bottoms where I was tripping on shrooms in a trash can. There was rock bottoms where I was destroying my entire apartment on cocaine. There were rock bottoms where I was throwing up on myself, and but I think this is the worst one because I affected my family, the people who I loved. I absolutely learned from it. It was a very, very bad move. I'm lucky to even be in, with my family now because of it. But I definitely think that, I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that. And it's like, it sucks to even talk about this shit, but the worst time of my life, that being at my grandma's house the day after that, in the days after that, just hungover as fuck, cocaine come down as fuck. I just could not do it. Like, I was so depressed and so sad. And, luckily, I was able to get my life back and my family back. And after that moment, I did realize, in time, that was the most important thing to me. I still continued to fuck up by leaving my pregnant wife at home while I went to Coachella and EDC and shit like that. But hey, all right,
Sorry.
it's okay. I'm already doing it. It's okay. I got it. Well, I remember. I just thought about things that like you might know that I don't remember. As I started talking about, I started remembering a lot. It's getting me all fucking sad.
That was a really sad time.
Yeah. So yeah. Moral of the story is that like I didn't know what was happening back then. Like I was still really broken and really like not nearly the man I am today. Not even near it. I was still a little boy trying to be a dad and a family man. I had no idea what I was doing. And I self-destructed because I needed to go back to that rock bottom in order to keep myself going. It's so fucking weird. Like, I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm only realizing that now. And I'm glad I'm realizing it now because now I'm able to work through it and I don't want to self-destruct anymore. I want to be able to enjoy being happy and enjoy being a good person. And, yeah, so I don't really know how to wrap that one up. The happy ending to the story is obviously I'm here with my family still. We have another child and nothing like that has ever happened again. Of course there's been nights where we got in pretty heated arguments and shit like that, but never physical altercations like that. I should have realized how bad cocaine was for me back then. Why did it take me so long to finally quit? I don't know, guys. I hope you can learn from that. Look at yourself and just look at what you're doing in those moments and why you're doing it. Like, why did I have to do that? Like, why did I need to be drunk that night? Like, why was I so sad? Why did I destroy my entire apartment? It was literally because I wanted to go back to that rock bottom. It's so fucking weird. Like, I am so fucked up in my head. It's so weird. Obviously, drinking too much alcohol and doing cocaine in those moments where you're very, very sad and fucked up and shit like that, then that is something you should not do. I'm trying to think of advice that I would give myself in those moments, but at the same time, I don't think there's any advice I could have given myself to make me really realize what I realize now. Like, it really isn't. It's just, I wish that I could have just grown up a little quicker. I grew up really fucking quick, as far as some things. I had a child at 17. Like, there were certain ways I was a lot more mature than a lot of people, but there was also ways I was a lot more immature than other people. I don't know. But hopefully you guys could learn something from that. Obviously do your best to not make those same mistakes. Do not do cocaine and drink a shitload of alcohol when you're, going through something mentally. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to check out audible484.com. Smoke something, drink something, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.